Howdy, Waffle here. I'm headed to the trail in 2 or 3 weeks, and I wanted to take just a couple of minutes and show you what we'll be eating while we're out on the trail. So around in front of me are all the different kinds of foods that are common hiker diet, and we'll go through them a meal at a time and explain some of the options that are very commonly seen along the Appalachian Trail. Okay, let's start with breakfast. You got a lot of different options here, depending on whether you want hot or cold breakfast. I don't have everything illustrated here. There were a couple of things that I didn't find, but some things that I might add to the kit later on. So starting off, coffee is an imperative for me. Have to have coffee. I'll be trying these out for the first time. These are Folgers instant coffee singles. What I've used in the past, Folgers also makes a little tea bag type coffee thing that will brew 1 cup at the time. So I'm interested to try these out. I'm going to try them before I hit the trail just to make sure that I like them. They were a gift from a friend, and I appreciate that so very much, and I look forward to trying that. Along with my coffee, I've got a little bit of sugar here, and I found that I like packing dry milk, powdered milk, along with that. So I have a little bit of that in my coffee. I'll, of course, repackage this. Everything that you see here that's in boxes or bags or whatever, that's going to get repackaged. So I always keep tons of quart bags and gallon-sized freezer bags for repackaging things. Everything that I don't take out on trail with me, such as these boxes, some of these heavier, bulkier bags, those are things that I also don't have to worry about carrying back into town with me when we head into town. So we want to try to repackage everything to reduce the size of things, the bulk of things, and the amount of extra packaging here. That's just dead weight in your pack. So with this instant milk, what I'll do is I'll repackage that into a Ziploc bag, kind of like I did with my sugar here. Pop-Tarts are a very common item. These are obviously for a cold breakfast when you want to grab something and go. The thing that I didn't find is the honey buns. You can buy honey buns that are yay big. They've got 700 calories in them. I ate those a lot when I was out before, and I really like those. They have lots of calories, but they're also fully carb and they go away kind of quickly. So with the weight of those, I don't eat those as often, but I'm sure I'll have some of those eventually. What I found also that I really like is granola. This is going to be a new brand for me. This is a store brand. I used to eat the Bare Naked fruit and berries granola and put a little bit of powdered milk. Whoops, that's sugar. A little powdered milk and some water. Stir that around, and it's like you've got a bowl of cereal there, which is a really quick, easy to eat breakfast on the go. Or you could just snack on this out of the bag. So granola is a really nice little treat. Breakfast essentials are probably one of the most common things that you'll see. These are like a powdered chocolate milk, but the thing that's nice about them is they do have protein. This one has 13 grams protein. When you get out into trail towns, they make these with even more protein involved, and protein is something that you want to try to eat quite a bit of. So they come in a box like this. This will get opened up, and these will be repackaged into a Ziploc bag just to kind of keep them together in my food bag. So these are the type of things that I like to eat for lunch. This is just a whole wide variety of stuff. Commonly, hikers don't typically cook for lunch. They eat something cold and easy to grab. And also, a lot of hikers don't necessarily stop and eat a full-on lunch as much as they'll just snack on things throughout the day. So what you're seeing here is things that are high-calorie, high-protein food items that will help get us through the day. A really easy thing to make, this is something that I found out several years before I hiked that I liked and actually had for lunch at school for a while when I was still teaching, is tortillas with peanut butter. And I've got 2 different kinds of peanut butter packed for the trail. These I've used before. This is, I think, maybe 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And this is a squeeze jar of peanut butter. And the neat thing about this is as it gets used up, you can roll this up. It won't take as much room in the food bag. And I think I'll probably enjoy using that this year. So peanut butter on a tortilla, and then on top of that, you can put raisins. You might choose to put honey or some other sort of dried fruit. That's all a good thing. You could also toss in some summer sausage of some kind. Here's just a couple of different summer sausages. You can slice that up and put that in a tortilla with peanut butter or just with cheese. A lot of folks don't think about cheese on the trail, but these individually wrapped cheeses will keep. They're not going to get go bad on you even in the hot of the summer. Now, yes, they'll get a little bit oily, but they're individually wrapped, and you can just snack on these. They don't have to be refrigerated as long as you don't keep them in your pack for months. So, beef and cheese is a good tortilla. A lot of times I'll just snack on some beef jerky like this. And then I always keep some sort of candies in my pack. So candies that I like, M&Ms are good. Peanut M&Ms are good too because they have some protein in them for the little peanuts that are there. I absolutely love these caramel creams. I will definitely be buying more of these. They're kind of heavy, but I really like them. Werther's Originals are kind of a neat snack. Any kind of hard candy like that. Skittles are very common. Snicker bars, the little candy bars, or even the full-size candy bars, those are all common, quick sugar type things that you can snack on along the trail. I like dried fruit. Mangoes are good. I like banana chips and strawberry chips. So all of these kinds of things are the sort of things that I enjoy eating either for lunch or as snack foods along the trail. One thing that I didn't slide into this view is sunflower seeds. And I just completely forgot about it. Sunflower seeds have one of the highest calorie to weight ratios of any nut that is out there. So these are packed with fat and calories. So I definitely will be taking sunflower seeds or peanuts or almonds or something in the nut family to have as a snack along the trail. So this is my lunch and snack foodstuffs. So these items are common food items that I would eat for supper along the Appalachian Trail or any other backpacking trip. I'm not limited to these things, but these are just a few of the more common things. Typically, supper is going to be a warm meal. You may not mess with trying to have a warm meal at breakfast, but supper time, you're there, you're set up, you've got your tent set, you're probably going to take the time and have something warm. So a base for common backpacker meals are things like these Knorr sides. This is rice sides. These are with pasta sides. Those are very common. You actually can just pour water in this pouch and stir and wait, and that saves you from dirtying the dish. So those can be done in pouch. Mashed potatoes are very common items. There's different varieties of all of these sides, both the Knorr sides and the pasta sides. So you've got a lot of different choices for flavors in those. Proteins that I commonly eat, I actually like Spam, and they sell individually wrapped Spam, so you don't have to worry about a heavy aluminum can. You don't have to worry about the food spoiling because this is a single served individual packet. So those are kind of nice. A really, really popular meal along the Appalachian Trail in the last year or two is this pulled pork. It's a store brand pulled pork. It's in a little pouch, and it is absolutely one of the most sought after quick stick in your food bag proteins that's out there on the trail right now. I didn't mention tuna because I don't care for it, but there's a variety of flavors of tuna and chicken pouches that make good protein options. One thing that I'm going to try this year, just to sort of mix things up, is with the mashed potatoes. Yes, these are flavored, but I thought I might try mixing in either some bouillon or some gravy mix like this into the mashed potatoes to give them a little bit more flavor. I commonly would carry some sort of crackers, and this would, something like Cheez-Its, obviously this would be in a Ziploc bag. This would be a good, something to have with these foods. This could also go into my snack stuff as well. So these are some very common food items that you would find along the Appalachian Trail. These are chosen with weight in mind, calories in mind, and packability in mind. A hiker can consume or burn 3,500 to 5,000 calories in a day. So it's really, really important that you get lots of nutrients, lots of calories in your diet. One thing that commonly is done is olive oil might be added to any of these things, to the sour cream and chives, mashed potatoes or whatever. A tablespoon of olive oil or two in your evening meal will give you just a good shot of extra calories, and it helps hikers to maintain their weight along the trail. As I mentioned earlier, all of these things will have to be repackaged, or nearly all of them. I would probably put like things together in a Ziploc bag. Definitely I wouldn't carry the box of Cheez-Its. These I'll leave alone because you can actually pour hot water down into these and cook inside. But you know, the little single things like Slim Jims, those will get packaged into in a Ziploc bag, much in the same way that I've done my coffee, just so it's easier to reach in and grab out what I need. So once all of these things have been repackaged, the next thing is, how do you carry them? And there's a couple or three options. One option, and this is an option that's not often used by hikers, but it's possible, is to use a bear canister. These bear canisters are bear proof, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's the claw marks and tooth marks to prove that this is bear proof. I've only used this on one trip, and oddly enough, I happen to have been hiking in bear country, and they did not get into my food for this thing. The downside to using a bear canister like this is it weighs a couple or 3 pounds. It's kind of heavy, it's kind of bulky. So commonly hikers don't take a bear canister on the trail. They choose a lighter option. For me, what I'll be using is a Dyneema food bag. This comes with the rope that you need to hang it. You throw a rope up and over a tree limb, and you hoist your food up in the air using something called the Pacific Crest Trail Bear Hang. I'll include a video that I did a couple of years ago during COVID for that. So all of this stuff will go down into the bear sack, roll it up, snap it, and then this goes up in a tree to keep your food safe from bears, and perhaps more importantly, to keep the bears safe from your food, because if bears consume human food, they start to learn that humans are a source of nourishment and nutrition, so they're going to come around long and they will become what we call habituated to human contact, and that makes them a nuisance, and they may have to be relocated, or in some cases they may have to be put down. So it's very important that you take some measure to keep your foodstuffs and anything else that you have in your pack stored away from bears at nighttime so that they can't get into those things. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the foodstuffs that a hiker will carry will be consumed warm, and usually that just involves boiling water and pouring it into a pouch or into a pot or whatever. So I wanted to show you really quickly how hikers get that boiling water. Start off with, I have a Toaks 750 milliliter titanium pot. I love this thing. I like the stuff sack. It keeps everything nice and together. And inside that, I keep my stove wrapped up in a bandana. A couple of reasons. One, the bandana keeps it from rattling around. And two, this is going to be my hot pot tongs or my oven mitt or what have you when I'm reaching over and taking this off of the stove. So this is a typical backpacking stove. Probably I will look at something a little bit smaller, because I would love to be able to get the gas can and the stove both down into this container so that they can store and take up less room in my pack. But this just screws on top of the gas can, and then the pot sits on top of this, and a pot like this will boil water in, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5. Slower if it's windy, but that's the hot water situation, is just using some sort of a cook pot. And I typically don't eat food out of the pot. I just boil water in it. That way it's not as smellable, and I don't have to worry about hanging this in a bear bag. But on the off chance that I do eat food, I also have a little rubber scraper that I can use to scrape out the inside of the pot if something gets stuck in there. And then when I'm in town, I can wash that really well with soap and water and bring it back to a non-smellable item. I'll also start off with a coffee cup. This is the GSI Outdoors coffee cup. It comes in this little canvas bag or nylon bag. It kind of provides some insulation, and I can't go without my coffee in the morning, so I'm definitely going to take this along with me and use this for my coffee. And so far as eating utensils, these long-handled spoons and sporks are really common. I couldn't find mine. These actually belong to Hawkeye. He's got a polished bowl spoon here that's kind of nice, and then he's got the Sea to Summit spork. Both of these are good options, especially if you're eating freeze-dried meals. We don't typically eat freeze-dried meals just because they're so expensive. But if you are splurging on a freeze-dried meal, then these long-handled spoons will allow you to get to the bottom of the bag without sticking your whole hand in there and getting yourself nasty. So I highly recommend some sort of a long-handled spoon like that in your cook kit. As always, thanks for joining me today. I hope that the information that I shared with you is informative and will be useful to some of you who are considering a thru hike or just a weekend backpacking trip. I encourage you, get off the couch and get out there and enjoy some of God's creation in nature. As I mentioned earlier, we're headed for the trail here just in a few weeks, And I've got a few videos that I'd like to do, but if you have any questions or comments, one of the videos I would love to do is a Q&A video with Hawkeye and me. So if you have questions, please put those in the comments down below. If you'll subscribe and like the video, that helps us out as well, and we appreciate you following along our journey. We'll see you soon.